Hi everybody! I'm just going to wait for everybody to join. My name is Sonia and I'm the International United Miss North Carolina Preteen. Welcome to the 9th episode of my live series, Inspire, Unite, Motivate, through which I aim to inspire everybody to make a difference in their community, unite all of the change makers of the world, and motivate everybody of all ages to create change in their society. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm just going to wait for our special guest to join. Hello, hello. I see more people are joining. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here today. I truly appreciate it. So if you want to just tell me in the comment box how your day is going, I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions for our special guest before she joins, make sure to put them in the comment box and I'll make sure to ask them as soon as we get the conversation started. I see that our guest is here. I think you just have to request to join. Oh, I see it.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So for some of the audience members who might not know you, do you want to start off by introducing yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ronia Brown. I am your 2021-2022 Royal International Miss Junior Teen. I am a high school junior currently, and I study cybersecurity as I go to a science, technology, and industry school. I am so excited to be here today and to talk to you guys about some questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. It's an honor to have you on here. Also, it's really cool that you go to a science and engineering school. Science is actually one of my favorite subjects in school, so that's awesome. So the reason we're on here today is to talk about your platform. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
So my platform is Nia's Birthday Box, which I started when I was 12 years old. It's inspired by my grandmother because when I was a kid, from ages 4 till when she passed when I was 12, I always experienced her being in a nursing home or, a senior facility or some type of hospitalization. And so during the years of seeing her every single weekend, I would see that since I always got to visit her, it was something that made her happy, but those around her and her surroundings weren't always as happy, and they didn't always have the same, abilities to always have company around them besides the doctors and the nurses that were facilitating care to them, because they had to. And so some people become lonely, they become isolated. It's not always the funnest place to be, sitting in a bed and just, being bombarded by doctors and not having family to be around you. And so I really took that into account after she passed because I wanted everyone to feel included, as my goal in life is, to promote inclusion. And that's really what my whole platform is about. So when I was 12 after she passed, I created Nia's Birthday Box, where we give boxes full of birthday treats to those that are in nursing homes, senior facilities, and we even branched out into like foster care homes and those that are kids and seniors, because I know that it reaches farther past that. And so as I've been able to do these boxes, I've been able to put smiles on so many people's faces, thankfully, and give them the comfort and let them know that they're loved and they are supported and they are not alone in the journey or the fight that they're going through.
Yeah, that is really inspiring. I love your message, and I also love that it has a personal story behind it. I think all of our messages or our platforms become a lot more meaningful when there's really some sentiment value behind it because you care so much more deeply about that issue. So I absolutely love that. So you mentioned that you make the birthday boxes. So what specifically do you put inside each one of the boxes?
So depending on if I know the person or not, I kind of try to customize it as much as I can to their liking and who they are. Most of the time, the way that I do these boxes is by people telling me. So these really started in my grandmother's facilities, the people that I did learn and grow up around, doing the birthday boxes for them. And then I grew into my other grandparents, like they're in a senior community, so it's people they knew. And then it was like people at church. And so it was kind of people that I knew at first. And so at first it was really customized with different things, but now it's the general thing is just things that keep them going. So the hygienic kits that I do socks, I do toothbrushes, toothpaste. I have done different things. I've done cards. A lot of ways that I get other people involved is doing things that everyone can be involved in. So the cards, the bracelets, I always try to make sure everyone can be included. I have different, sometimes depending on the age, also there's coloring books or there'll be like journals. I know a lot of older people love to write down different things. So I always love to put a journal and a pencil or a pen. I love to put blankets if it's like in the winter time, if they have a winter birthday. But if it's like the summertime, I'll put like a tank top. I always put some personal message to just inspire them. And empower them to keep going and keep fighting and keep believing in themselves. And so it can kind of get a little personalized. I know some boxes that I've done for different people, they might like a certain sports team. So I do like the colors revolved around that. But if I don't know them, I'll just, try to put as much love and effort into it still as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I think that what matters most in the end is that you put a lot of love into whatever you do, no matter what project you're doing. And it's awesome that you're able to customize them because I know, especially for like seniors or even like foster children, they can feel really special. They can feel really loved when they know that someone is really thinking about what they want and it's not just something that's generic. So, while you were delivering Nia's birthday boxes, do you have any like fun memories that you'd like to share?
So I think my greatest memory is when it came 360 for me. So anytime that I get to give a box to anyone that I personally know. And so I've been able to give boxes to my grandmother and I've been able to give boxes to my grandfather. My grandfather's birthday is actually this upcoming weekend and we're having his birthday party tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be something that I'm excited to surprise him with. I've also had different times where I've seen how when different people are going through different things, just being there for them in the moment has really brightened their days. Always seeing someone smile if they're going through something is something that lifts my heart because I know that it's lifting theirs. Understanding that you can have an impact on someone without thinking that you do is definitely something that's inspiring and it always keeps me going. I've personally gone into different hospitals during COVID, and that's something I never want anyone to go through because it's so isolated simply because of COVID protocols, and hospitals are already a lonely place. So I actually got to give my grandfather a box in the hospital because during COVID, he was in the hospital for different things. And so it's really special when I just get to be a part of someone's memories. A big part of why I do this is because I believe on my birthday, I always think of, balloons, candles, cakes, having so many friends around a cake, singing me happy birthday every year. But I understand that some people can't have those memories, and to give a person that memory back after they haven't had it for a while is something that's truly special to me.
I love that. It's always so pleasing to see a smile on someone's face because of something you did. I know for me, one of the projects I love doing is I love to serve meals at the homeless shelter and just seeing the smiles on the people's faces as I'm able to give them their meal is just so heartwarming. And it's truly a feeling like no other. And it's a feeling you can only get like when you're serving other people. So I love that. So moving a little bit into pageants because I know you're an international title holder. How long have you been doing pageants?
So I started doing pageants at 12, which is, it kind of all flows together. I got a platform, I started pageantry, it all kind of flowed together for me. I started in 2017 as a preteen for a system called National American Miss. It was a rough journey back then, but I'm so proud of just the personal development that I've seen in myself. I've definitely been able to become a more confident speaker and someone who carries himself in a different light. I used to be more introverted, and I always try to say that I'm socially selective because I was never the quiet kid. I just, was different levels with different people. But I definitely feel that I'm more extroverted towards others. I'm more, passionate to go start a conversation with a random stranger. Like, I wouldn't do that before. And I know that with this title, I've been able to impact different people doing different speaking engagements, which I would have been really nervous to do 5 years ago. But it's definitely been a ride that I'm so proud that I've put myself through, and I know it's setting me up for great things in the future.
It's actually really funny you say that because I started when I was 11 doing pageants, and my platform kind of came together when I was like 11, 12-ish. So it's really funny because I started my journey kind of close to when you started your journey. So how has being an international title holder, you mentioned that you were able to talk to a lot of people, but what are some other ways that being an international title holder has really allowed you to make a larger impact with your platform?
Well, just being an international pageant has already helped me spread my platform into places that I never thought would have been possible. So something that's really cool about Royal International Miss is that we have delegates from all over the place. We are truly an international pageant, and you can see that even just through our 14 winners. So we have winners from South Africa, some that live in Dubai, we have Canada, we have, Hawaii is still in the United States, but Hawaii. I think they're really cool places, and they're so many people that you meet at internationals that also come from all walks of life. And so just taking the opportunity at internationals to market myself, to network myself to different people, to talk to different people about my platform, it really just opened a window of opportunities to the place where I have been able to send boxes overseas internationally and impact people that I don't even personally know. Like I said, when I started, I did boxes from people that I normally knew. And so I knew, they already know me. They kind of like, it's cool. It's coming from someone I know. But I think it makes an even bigger impact when you don't know the person and the person is truly doing it outside of the kindness of their heart. I've been able to send boxes across the United States, and even in a global pandemic, I became an international nonprofit. And I think that's really cool because COVID has presented us with a lot of challenges, but that's something that I can take out of the pandemic and I can be grateful for. It's always about looking at the positives and not looking at the negatives, trying to be optimistic and take every opportunity that has came. Has definitely been all thanks to Royal International Miss and just putting myself out there and having a greater platform to talk to many people about what I do.
It's awesome that you mentioned that you're part of an international pageant because that's totally what International United Miss, it's right in the name, like it's in the name of Royal International Miss. And being a part of an international pageant itself is so huge. Like whether you're an international title holder or you're just simply a state title holder, you just get to network with so many more people. Like even as a state title, I know I've been able to talk to girls who are across the country with social media, and that has been really incredible because we've all been able to help out each other, and I'm able to have this live like I'm having with you. So I completely agree with that. And my next question that you led me right into is you mentioned a lot about networking, and sometimes you want to network, but it can be kind of hard. You don't know where to start. So how are you able to network and form those connections to broaden your platform?
So at first it was really scary, and it's something that pageantry definitely helped me with, learning how to, just ask different people for sponsorship fees. And so I found that that was a really helpful tool when it came to networking. So like I said, I started small. I started with people I knew. I started with my grandmothers, and they have all their little friends. And I started with my grandparents, and I moved up from there. As more and more people learned about Nia's birthday box and more people were willing to work with us, I was able to outreach so much more. And so I've been able to do different packing parties. I've done some at Top Golf. And so there's people that are intrigued, like, oh my gosh, what's happening in that room? Like, it looks so cool. And I've been able to tell them about my platform. I've definitely learned that word of mouth and not being afraid of putting yourself in certain spaces to set yourself up for success is definitely something that's important. So I've gone to different leadership conferences. I've gone to different, just speaking engagements, not always being the person who's speaking, but just listening to people, putting yourself in the positions to make the connections. So I've done different things. I do every year this Black Girls Rock conference. And so we've had speakers, like Michelle Obama. We've listened to Kamala Harris. We had the 2020 Miss Universe, we had Miss USA on there. And so those are places where I was able to find a lot of young girls that were so passionate to help others in their community that we even made a group chat, and we always send each other the different things that we're doing. And so, like I said, just putting yourself in those positions and not being afraid to tell people what you're doing, who you are, doing even little, like, not little, but lives like this, I'm able to impact the people that you're following, and that your followers can now see this that may have not known about my platform before. So just doing the little things, not thinking that you have to skip straight to plan Z, but start A, B, C, and, build up from there.
I completely agree with that. And you mentioned packing parties, and those sound super cool because it's always awesome when you're able to get together a group of people who are really passionate about a cause, which is what you were talking about with the conference. You're able to really unite with all of those people who share the same views as you, like-minded people, which is what I aim to do with this series, is to unite people and to give them different opportunities and different tips so that they can make a positive impact on the world. So can you tell me a little bit more about those packing parties?
So my first one was actually kind of in my house with just my friends. So I think that it's important that you're showing others how impactful community service can be. And I always try to keep my friends involved with community service because I live in a county where it's not like required in high school. And so some people don't have the opportunity to see how good it feels to make other people feel good. So I started with like my friends in my house, just making different boxes. I bought all the supplies myself from different scholarships that I've been able to win. And so I just give them the materials. It's kind of like an assembly line. Like, you put this here, I put this here, we get this going, and then I'm able to deliver them, whether it's in the mail or in person. Love in-person deliveries. The first packing party officially that I had was at Topgolf. And so again, bringing all my friends together, whether it was through pageantry, whether it was through school, whether it was through sports, getting all those people in a room, and they know that it's kind of like a reward. So you get to do community service, and then you get to have fun, and you get to play golf with all your friends. Some people will call it bribing, but I say it's working to your advantage either way. So actually, I do have a box right here. I can kind of show you.
Oh.
So this is one of the boxes. I kind of kept it as a keepsake from my first packing party. So these are what the boxes look like. They're about this big. They have like Nia's birthday box tape, and there's like different bows and confetti. On the inside of this one specifically, I believe this is a kid's box, so there were kids' socks. There were different books, because I believe that literacy is also so important. Being able to read a book is something that's actually taken for granted. And I just like to put a lot of things in these boxes to give kids opportunities that I feel like in the situations they are in, they may not have. But yeah, it's really cool. I also do these all the time. Again, sometimes in my house, sometimes going out. But it's just something that my friends can earn community service hours from, that I'm able to spread my platform with more people. I get to have fun times, and I really get to spread what the message of community service is and the message of inclusion.
It's really cool that you were able to band together your friends like that. That birthday box looks super fun, and I love that message that you're also providing kids opportunities. I just find that so inspiring, and it's really funny because our middle school does not require community service, but I was able to do something similar where I got together like a little group of friends and we made cards for hospitalized kids. I think it was like 2 months ago now, and it was super fun. And like you said earlier, word of mouth really plays a role, because once you're able to start telling people, even at a place like school, I just love seeing how eager they are to help. And that eagerness to help people in the community is really what forms these parties like that, whether it's a packing party or it's cards for hospitalized kids. You just really need to put yourself out there, and that can be scary sometimes. Like, I really agree with what you said earlier. It's like you're outgoing, but at the same time you're kind of selective with certain people, and I totally get that. I think pageantry has really made me a little bit more outgoing than I was. I was always outgoing, but now I'm a little more eager to put myself out there to talk with people I might not know. So you mentioned how your friends help you, but you're also a part of an international sisterhood. So pageantry is all about sisterhood. So how have your sister queens been able to support you in your mission and your goals?
So something that's really I think is unique about Ronia International Miss is that we have 7 divisional titles, but we also have 7 role model titles. And so the role models this year has picked a platform for the year and an international service project. So this year is a year of growth. And so I believe that even though the year of growth is our role model Mrs. platform, we've been able to incorporate all of our platforms, and I know that we're always there for each other. We're only a text away, and if anyone ever has, like whether it's a food drive, a book drive, like a clothing drive, anything, they are so willing to help you. I've always been able to talk to them, even if I feel like shy, like if I'm about to go into a networking opportunity and I feel shy. They give me advice and things I can say. They just make me feel comforted. They've also donated lots of things to these boxes. It's thanks to Royal International Miss that I've had one of the biggest scholarships that I was able to earn and actually pay for all of these. And so they're always supportive and they're always there for me. If I texted them right now, I was like, hey guys, like, who has some extra books? I need some. I know they would ship them right away.
Sisters by Sash are always so amazing. I know, like, tomorrow I'm going out for the National Alliance of Mental Illness to walk here in North Carolina, and I'm doing like an online fundraising thing. And some of my sister queens who are sometimes not even in the state, just Sisters by Sash, have been so helpful. They've offered to walk virtually. They've been able to fundraise with their own page for my team. Or I did a project a couple months ago, it was like February, where I was doing a Stories with Sisters series, and all of my sister queens are so willing, and they were making book videos, reading videos to really spread the message of how important literacy is and to give kids those opportunities to listen to stories if they might not have them. The Sisters by Sash are always so amazing. And you mentioned that you're able to market your platform, you're able to broaden your reach. So how has pageantry been able to equip you with the skills necessary to do that, other than public speaking, which we already talked about?
So I think one of the biggest things that pageantry has really helped me with is when it comes to that interview. And so public speaking is it's really important as much as private speaking. And so I always felt that I could do public speaking because I am a junior NFL cheerleader. I perform in front of thousands of people on Sunday, in front of a whole bunch of people. I did acting and I did singing. I was lead in Annie. I could do the public stuff. But when it came down to one-on-one talking with someone, that's when I got nervous. When it got down to like 1, 2, 3 people. And so it was really hard for me at the beginning of my pageantry journey, because we all know like judges don't go beyond like a panel of 6 normally. And so I was really nervous because I felt that when there's less people, there's more time to analyze me. I don't know. It was really weird. But I know from the first time I sat down in an interview chair to the last time I've sat down in an interview chair or a mock trial or a mock interview, there's a huge difference. And so I've been able to build the confidence just sitting there and speaking about myself. It's not something that I normally typically like to do. I'd much rather use my voice to advocate for someone else. But learning who I was, pageantry has really helped me do that, because I've gone through different pageants where I believe I wasn't myself, but through taking the time and taking the journey and understanding who I am, I've built, confidence in myself to speak about myself, but I've also learned exactly who I am, exactly what I want to do. It comes in handy for the personal introduction when you're talking about yourself, but also that interview when you're showing how passionate you are about the things that you do. And I think that it's really helped me build my passions, because, before it's like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, I don't know. I have so much time. Well, now I'm a junior in high school, about to be a senior in high school, and there isn't that much time. And so pageantry is really giving me that push to also like find what I'm passionate about. And it's giving me a realm where I see so many inspirational ladies doing everything under the sun. And it's like, I'm not limited to things that I may have seen before, but I know that I could be an aerospace engineer if I wanted to, or I could be a teacher if I wanted to. So pageantry has really helped me understand who I am and be confident in who I am.
Definitely, because pageantry really allows for a lot of self-reflection. Like, I know I'm a 7th grader, so I have some time before I even enter high school. But at the same time, when I ask other 7th graders who might be my age, I'm like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they're like, it's okay, we're not even in high school. But it's so funny because the years pass so quickly. Like, I can't believe 7th grade is even really close to coming to an end, and pageantry really allows you to really dig deep on who you are as a person, and digging deep on who you are as a person really does allow you to find causes you're passionate about. I know pageantry allowed me to think about, what do I really feel strongly about, and that is what led to the formation of my platform, which is Stop Hunger, Educate Everybody. So pageantry really does allow for self-reflection. So my next question is kind of about school. So if your school knows about your initiative, how are they able to support you in your mission with Nia's Birthday Box?
So lots of people at my school actually do know about my initiative. When I first started, I was in middle school, and so it was a lot smaller of a thing. But when I ran for student government president in the 8th grade, which I actually happened to win, I talked about my, my efforts with my nonprofit and, being active in my community. I believe that was always something that was very important to me, is that, the leaders that we look up to should be someone that's doing something good. And so I always want to do good things, to be a leader and a role model for others. So in middle school, even, they were supporting me by, coming to different fundraisers I had, planning different things. The student government president has also taught me, people skills, how to work with people, to be a team player. And it's taught me a lot of different skills. Transitioning into high school, it was a much bigger school. I was moving from a school where I knew kind of everyone to a school where I knew practically no one, because I did apply for this school and it wasn't my zone school. So a lot of my friends didn't end up going to the same high school as me. And so through different clubs and through different sports, I did cross country, I did swim, I did softball, I've done a whole bunch of things. I've also stayed active in student government, Key Club, so many different things. I've been able to just word of mouth again, just tell people the things that I'm doing, how they can get involved, how I am being involved. And even at the high school level, they've still supported me in my fundraisers. They have, a lot of them have came out to the different packing parties that I have. I've been able to make a lot of friends through it. And that's another way that I learned how to network, is just by doing it with my peers. It's a lot scarier when it's someone you don't know. And so that was one of the first ways that I learned to network to someone that I didn't know, is just by being myself and telling them what I'm doing and who I am and what I hope to do.
I just think it's so incredible that even being a high schooler, you're able to balance this with being an international title holder. Like, I'm not in high school, but I've heard a lot about it, and I'm really excited to go to high school in a couple of years. And I have heard a lot of people talk about student council, and it really does teach you people skills, because being in student council, you really need to know how to really talk with either the whole school or your grade level, depending on what position you're in. And the funny thing is, being in pageants, it's so easy to find like-minded people who are with you. They know your goals, they have similar goals, and it's such an incredible community you're able to find. But with school, it can be a little bit different, because some people might know a lot about community service. Some people have like a vague idea of it. I've met a lot of people like that. And some people might not know anything about it. So it's really fun, because it's kind of like a challenge. You want to educate everybody on the importance of serving your school, serving your society, and serving your community. And I think it's so awesome that you were able to do that as student body president. So I know that it can be hard for you to get started serving. Like, I know when I talked with a couple of my friends, they were like, Sonia, we really want to serve, but how? Like, how do you start? So do you have any tips for youth that might want to start serving, but they just don't know where to start?
I say, one, just take the leap of faith. And two, don't feel pressure to find something specific. It's a wide realm of things that you can be passionate about. There's people who are really passionate about dogs. There's really passionate who are about feeding the homeless. I'm passionate about inclusion. So there's a whole wide realm, and I say dip your toe into every single thing that you can. When I started community service, I was really little, because my parents introduced it to me at a young age, which I was fortunate to do. But there was a break in between before I really got started again. And so when I got started again, I was, on Google, like, what are some volunteer opportunities that you can do in Maryland? And that vague search led me to a lot of the places that I contribute a lot of my time to now. And so I found that I was really passionate about helping those in foster care homes. So I branched out my own platform to that. And I work with companies now that also have the same message, like Together We Are Not Alone, and different things like that. I also love going to the food pantry, and serving the homeless on Mondays and Thursdays there. It's something that I didn't know about. Actually, it was 10 minutes from my house, but when I was growing up here, I didn't know it was there. So just talking to different people, somebody knows something that you can do. And I truly believe that not one person has to do everything, but everyone should do something. And so it also comes down to people like me and you to take the responsibility to educate people about community service and educating them why we do it, what can you do, and just different places that you can do it. You don't always even have to go in person. There are virtual community service opportunities. I've even learned a lot from TikTok, and that's a platform that a lot of us are on all the time. So I've indulged actually. Um, and I've just found that it just takes that one push. It takes that wanting to do something. You're going to be able to do it. If you set your mind to something, you're going to be able to do it. So if you want to serve, find any opportunity that you can to serve. If you're watching this live now and you're looking for somewhere that you can, if you want to talk to me about serving with Nia's Birthday Box, that is something that I'm more than welcome to do. We have a site called www.niabirthdaybox.com where you can look at different opportunities. I've also been working on doing something where I can showcase different platforms. And so I've done that as an international title holder myself with the girls that are in my system. And I've been able to give them the platform to talk about their platforms, which I think is really unique. And you doing it yourself as a state title holder with I.U.M is something that's very unique. I believe that social media has increased its power during the global pandemic. And so many people are on social media all the time. And if we're using social media as a positive place and a positive influence, they'll definitely be able to find those opportunities easier, which is why I dedicate my social media to, showcasing those things that you can do, even at home, because some people can't go out.
I just thought it was so funny. I just wanted to point out that you said TikTok really inspired you. I think a lot of people have like a very negative view of social media, especially people who are teens who are growing up. They're like, oh my God, social media is a bad influence. Oh my God, I am addicted to TikTok, but it's a bad thing. But it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. If you're able to use social media to network, to find opportunities, to do lives like you and me are doing, to spread awareness, I think that it can turn into a very powerful tool to make sure that your message reaches as many people as possible. I know just being a state title holder with this account has allowed me to reach so many more people to start this series. So I think that one of the biggest things you pointed out that I loved was that social media, you just have to use it the right way and you have to form those connections and really put yourself out there. So what impact or legacy do you want to have with Nia's Birthday Box?
I always want to have a positive impact, and I just want to say that I helped as many people as I can. I started this when I was 12, not knowing the longevity of it. And that's something that some people are really concerned about is, when they do something, they're wondering, can they keep doing it? I had no idea that it would turn into a nonprofit that has reached international waters or even beyond my own state. It's just taking that leap of faith and knowing that you have a support system behind you. Definitely building a strong one will definitely help you. But I just believe that with Nia's Birthday Box, the legacy that I want to leave, like I said, is a positive one that helped as many people as I could without knowing them, with knowing them. Being there for someone in a hard time is always something that if someone was there for me in a hard time, I would appreciate that so much. And I would think about that for a long time. My legacy is hoping that you have the memory of being helped, of being loved, of being remembered, of, just feeling like you're worth it. Because some people sit in those beds in the hospitals, or they sit in the homes of foster care, or they feel excluded because they don't have the certain things that other kids have, or have the certain clothes that someone else has. I hope that the boxes take the opportunity to show you that like I said, you're still loved, that you can still accomplish everything that you want to do, that you're not alone. Because I try to make personal connections with everyone that I, meet and I'm able to give boxes to. And so I'm always there for them even after their birthday. That's something that I've definitely recognized with my platform. That people need inclusion even when it isn't their birthday. And so something that I was also able to do is I created like a mini box. I believe those are all in my room, but I created a mini box, and these are just kindness boxes. And so it reaches past just birthdays. It reaches past just seniors or past just kids. I believe that we need kindness in our world. We need inclusion in our world. And I believe that kindness is one of the easiest ways to get inclusion. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about inclusion, which I haven't mentioned, is I'm a former victim of bullying. So I was bullied in elementary school, second, third, and fourth grade for just being different. And I always wanted it to be never that way for anyone else. And so I sat and I, thought about this when I was, still transitioning my platform into exactly what I wanted it, which is why I started the kindness boxes, is because if I can go and I make a presentation to a elementary school class and I can leave them with a kindness box, it's not like, oh, this girl with a shiny crown came and she read us a story. It was, she extended her kindness to me through a box, and that really made me feel special that she took the time to think about me.
One act of kindness can really go so far. I know one of my favorite, I don't know it word to word, but in my school, I've seen this poster many times. It's like, in 30 years, it's not going to matter what clothes you wore or what shoes, or even like if you were popular or not. What it's going to matter is what you learned and how you used it. And I think this kind of extends to everything, like you were talking about with kindness. Like, in 30 years, someone is not going to remember exactly what you did. Like, they might not remember that a girl with a shiny crown came and she gave a kindness box, but they will remember that it made them feel really good. And I think it just goes on to, like, if we teach the younger generation to extend kindness because it's just one of the easiest things to do and to make this world a happier place, then they will remember that feeling and they will pay it forward, and it will just create such an inclusive and such a happy community, and it will be incredible. So I love you're able to spread that message of inclusion, and I wholeheartedly agree that it's just the kindness that matters. It goes past like our limited platform. They're not limited, but our platforms like mine is hunger or yours is birthday boxes, even with those specific causes that we're trying to support, it all comes down to we're trying to spread kindness and love into this world. So that is an amazing message. So thank you so much for coming on here today. I had an incredible time talking with you, and it was an honor to have you here as a guest. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope you have a great day. I love talking to you.
Me too. Thank you once again. So make sure to stay tuned on my social media page, because I will be posting very shortly who I'm going to be having here on next on Inspire, Unite, Motivate, and which girl boss is changing the world. If any of you are interested in getting to help with Ronia's project, I'll make sure to link her website in the live replay of this video. Bye, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.